Most people think that destination weddings equals a holiday crossed with a dream job, but the reality is they're often less glamorous and more stressful than you might think. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Tom. I'm a wedding photographer based in the UK. On this channel, we explore strategies and tools to help you grow your photography business and lead a happy, fulfilling life. So I've just arrived here last night in Naples, Italy for day one of my destination wedding. I got here on Tuesday and I'm flying back home on Saturday. My first point is travel fatigue, which is something that's hit me today actually, so it's quite a good one to talk about. Travel fatigue is something that's very real, even if it's in the UK, just a 3-4 hour drive can hit you, especially if it's there and back. But the reality of a destination wedding is that you're not only driving, you're driving to the airport, you're getting on a plane, landing, maybe getting a car rental, driving in probably a new country for the first time, all the way back to your hotel. Now those things alone might not seem like too big of a deal, but together they compound and create a stressful vibe that you really don't want to be dealing with before a wedding. And that's assuming that all your travel plans go to plan. You know, sometimes there are flight delays, flight cancellations. I had a pretty bad experience a few weeks ago going to the Isle of Man, it's a half an hour flight from the UK, but I ended up having to get a taxi 2 hours away from the airport and then an overnight ferry and then shoot the wedding straight away because the flight was returned to its original airport. So you can imagine the stress that I was feeling on that wedding day, but I still had to be my full professional self and fulfill, if not surpass, the service that I was booked for. As a photographer, you're also flying with expensive gear, so cameras, lenses, drones, things like that. They can get lost very easily. If you're checking in your equipment and putting them in the hold, then they can easily get lost. And for that reason, I always take them on carry-on, but they can still get lost, they can get stolen. And it's also a nightmare at customs sometimes when you're taking through batteries, drones. So it's not always a smooth ride through the airport either. Sometimes you've got to prepare with extra time in order to get through security. And then you've got to think about researching the location ahead of time. Things like sunset times, weather patterns, venue restrictions, things that are generally easier to research in the country that you're from because you're there, you've lived there, you know what it's like, you know what the weather's like, you probably know a lot of the venues in your area too. But it's unlikely for a destination wedding that you've been to the venue or you know the country's weather, which can be unpredictable at best. Today I'm here in Italy, it's 31 degrees, which would be alright in the UK, but it's insanely humid here today, so I've got to prepare for that as well. And I'm not used to shooting in this kind of heat, so I've got to think about water, electrolytes, and just taking breaks throughout the day in order to keep myself probably sane enough to do some good work. With extreme heat also sometimes comes extreme rain, so you could get really unlucky and shoot an extremely rainy day. And lastly, something weather related that all photographers fear more than heat, which is light. Harsh light is incredibly hard to shoot in and you've always got to be prepared for it. You need to learn how to handle harsh light and shadows, which I'll cover in another video. Next is an obvious one, but one that you might not think of, which is language barriers, especially if you're somewhere quite discreet. Now I'm only about 20 minutes outside of the centre of Naples, so I'm quite lucky in that most people speak English here, but you might not be so lucky if you're further out from the airport. Language barriers can come into place with the vendors, the venue, or even the couple's family, so try to come prepared with even the most basic of words or phrases such as hello, thank you, or do you speak English? Another big one that can go wrong is the lack of support around you. For example, second shooters that you know, or gear, so you can't rent gear if yours fails. For this reason, I always prefer to shoot with a second shooter when I'm on location, so if you can convince your couple to work with a second shooter, that's great, especially one that shoots with the same camera system as you. So for example, I shoot Sony, so I'll generally only take Sony shooters abroad with me, so I can borrow their lenses if need be, or even their cameras. So I've gone through the downsides, but how exactly do you prepare for the worst? Firstly, pack smart. Pack duplicates of duplicates, memory cards, batteries, cameras, lenses, everything you can think of. Just pack everything that you have and bring it along with you in case one fails. Always keep your essential gear with you as a carry-on. Never ever put it in the luggage hold because it will get lost, like I said earlier. Research the location ahead of time if you can, so somewhere that you want to go for your couple shoot, the sunset times, the weather patterns, everything like that, so you're prepared for the worst. Build in buffer days as well for travel, and this one's a really important one. You need time to acclimatize and also make space for any travel arrangements that go wrong. So I would recommend flying 2 days early at the very minimum. Make sure you've got gear and travel insurance too that covers international work, as well as a solid contract that has clauses baked in that will cover every cost that you need, such as travel and food. If you follow all the tips I've given in today's video, then you can come away with an extremely rewarding experience as well as photos that are genuinely incredible. The best photos I've ever taken are on destination weddings. If you're prepared and in your element on the wedding day, I usually find there's a huge payoff and an even better emotional connection than you usually find at home because everyone's on holiday and you've usually got longer to get to know each other. If you found this helpful, leave a like and hit the subscribe button as well. If you have any other questions too, just let me know in the comments below and I'll respond to you as quickly as I can, or make a whole new video on the question that you've asked. See you in the next one.